Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Now recently, as many of you may know, I posted a video discussing JonTron's removal from the game Yooka-Laylee. Playtonic, the developers of the game, had posted a press release stating essentially that they had no wish to be associated with JonTron, that they were distancing themselves from him in light of the recent controversy that he's embroiled in after an impromptu debate with a left-wing Twitch streamer who goes by Destiny. Now, reportedly, Destiny is well practiced in debating, and as such, he had no trouble whatsoever picking apart a YouTube comedian. However, the intended result of the video that I had posted, which discussed Playtonic's actions, ended up creating a fair amount of strife on my own channel. Indeed, many people seem to be focusing on the fact that I had not outright condemned JonTron in my video, which, of course, completely and utterly missed the point. Now, here I find myself dealing with 4 different camps because of people's seemingly complete and utter inability to look past their own navels. We have those that are on the far right that accuse me of being an, and I quote, an SJW cuck for not defending JonTron and outright condemning Playtonic in a more definitive manner. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I have the far right, which are calling me and again I quote, a Nazi apologist and literally Hitler for not vociferously condemning JonTron and everything to which he might stand for. And in the meantime, I have a subset of each camp calling me an middle-of-the-road elitist for not siding with a particular group. And then, of course, I do have a 5th category who actually paid attention to what I was saying and the points I was attempting to get across, and these people, thankfully, are still in the majority, as reasoned discourse will always win out over name-calling and the standard gnashing of teeth and stomping of feet that these extremist views seem to engender. And of those people, it seems to be an even split between those that agree with me and those that do not, and that's perfectly fine. I've always been more than willing to have an open and frank discussion with those that are willing to be civil and intelligent in their discourse, and by intelligent discourse I mean use reason and logic in an attempt to discuss, not to name-call, berate, belittle, and dismiss outright because the opposition does not 100% agree with your standpoint. Now, I'd considered sitting here and waiting for the video to blow over as I started bleeding subscribers. Now, granted, I've still been gaining, but for each 3 new subscribers, I lose 1 in return, and this is never a good position to be in as a YouTuber. I thought long and hard on it, but after reviewing the comments, I found myself growing more and more angry over how people were acting in my comments section. To be honest, I had more faith in humanity than it apparently deserved, and the vast majority of the comments on that video bear that out. Now, I did have one such person on Twitter who, while it was quite clear that he did not agree with me at all, he also seemed to be one that did not understand why I did not outright condemn JonTron in my video, and he also thought it was amusing that I, and I quote again, I think you enjoy wallowing in balance fallacies and tone arguments. JT's comments were ridiculously racist, why not say that? Well, the simple fact is, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether they were racist comments or not. I have not watched the debate. I've not heard his statements at all. I've heard second and third hand accountings, but with the simple fact that I've been called literally everything across the spectrum of the current socio-political climate within the US, from SJW to literally Hitler, both of which I find highly insulting and entirely undignified, not to mention supposedly mutually exclusive, I simply cannot rely on those accountings as they are most likely highly skewed and warped by personal bias. The actions and attitudes of these 2 extreme groups bear that out as highly likely impossible. Secondly, I couldn't care less. Destiny is some Twitch streamer that I've never heard of before in my life and will most likely never hear about again once this is all said and done. Likewise, JonTron is a YouTube comedian who apparently has millions of followers. I have maybe seen one of his videos in my entire life. The only reason why I even knew about his existence was because I'd heard him mentioned before by YouTubers I do watch like Dodger Lee, Jesse Cox, Total Biscuit, Cinnamon Toast Ken, and Nostalgia Critic, amongst others. But I still have no inclination to watch the debate whatsoever even now. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Within the sphere of my world, it has no real effect whatsoever. The only reason why I'd posted a video that even touched on the topic was because the developers had made a rather obvious and lame duck attempt at claiming a moral high ground while deleting user threads, mocking people who sought out refunds, and openly mocking JonTron himself on Twitter in some instances. Now let me tell you this. People who would claim that they have a moral superiority by removing someone they believe to be a racist while refusing to return the money of those that follow along with that supposed racist and had bought into the game merely because of his involvement is not morally just. It is not promoting diversity in any way, shape, or form. It is its own form of greed, bigotry, and yes, I'll use one of your blastedly irritating terms that so many love to throw around these days. It is the epitome of virtue signaling, one of the dumbest phrases on the planet, if you ask me, but in this case, it is somehow appropriate given the ridiculousness of the subject matter. Now, a great many people have also claimed that I am normalizing racism by not condemning JonTron. So, to all of you, those on the left and those on the right, I'm going to say something very simple, something that everyone should be able to comprehend. Diversity is not limited to the color of one's skin. Diversity inhabits people of all nationalities, ancestries, races, languages, religions, and yes, even beliefs. I can state this qualitatively and unequivocally with every fiber of my being. I do not condone racism. I do not condone racism against black people, Asians, Hispanics, Indian, Arabic, or Caucasian, or any other race on the face of the planet, known or unknown. The very thought angers me and disgusts me, and I will not have my daughter raised in an environment that would espouse one person being better than another by virtue of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or their religious belief. It is wrong, and I will not stand for it. But no, I will not condemn a man over the hearsay of groups of people that would so willingly call me a Nazi or an SJW cuck or literally Hitler merely because I did not say what they wanted to hear. Oftentimes I will say something that you won't want to hear. Get over it. Get over yourself. In the grand scheme of this beautiful, amazing thing called life, it is nothing more than a stupid YouTube drama. It'll be gone in a few weeks and most people will have forgotten about it. All of the name-calling and belittling of people that don't share your own personal beliefs does nothing but destroy. It offers nothing constructive. It does nothing to sway anyone's opinion. It does nothing to make the world a better place for you, or me, or my 12-year-old daughter, or anyone. Each and every single one of the people that sat there and called me names while actively making the choice to not listen, to not hear someone else's point of view, to attack as opposed to persuade and educate are actually the ones that are quote-unquote virtue signaling, except not to other people, but to themselves. They do so to make themselves feel better about their own beliefs, denigrating and belittling people as opposed to meeting their arguments with reason, logic, and fact, because the truth of the matter is, you can't. All most of those people do is follow along with a pack, taking what other people say as fact without doing any research or investigation of their own. The particular person I'm referring to on Twitter also said, interested how SidAlpha can occupy that seemingly lofty middle ground between racism and not racism, decrying both sides as just as bad. The far left and the far right are every bit as poisonous, hate-filled, and toxic as the other. Their insults even directly mirroring each other. They're very much two sides of a very distasteful coin, and given their actions within my own comment section of my videos, I refuse to be associated with either one. I'm also not what you would call a middle-of-the-road person, as so many people liken it to. I stand for my own beliefs. I stand for what I have been raised to believe is right. But unlike so many others, I do not mind my beliefs being questioned, as long as it is done so in a reasoned manner with thought and fact to support the argument. To do otherwise would be to become as insular as these two extremist sides, closed off to any opinion other than their own. I refuse to put myself into an echo chamber like that, because without ideas and beliefs being questioned, how would a better one ever come along? But name-calling and demonizing someone for not sharing your belief, whether it be me or anyone else, is beyond deplorable. It is disgustingly closed-minded and unreasoned. Now, I know I'm likely to lose more subscribers off of the back of this video, and if so, then so be it. I refuse to compromise my standards and my integrity for left or right-wing extremists that are interested in nothing more than their pound of flesh. I have thousands of people who follow my channel, and I have a responsibility to them to not fall prey to such mindless trappings as following a mob for the sheer sake of going along with the crowd. In this instance, it has nothing to do with video games, and what the developers and publishers of Yooka-Laylee have done in regards to those seeking a refund is blatantly anti-consumer. That is what my channel is about, looking out for people and doing my best to help inform them in regards to video games so they do not get duped by scumlord business practices like those that are currently being employed by so many games developers and publishers out there. And also, let them know when I found something good, because we all deserve a good fucking game to play. I don't give a damn what a person's skin color is, or what god they believe in, or who they're attracted to. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, then you do you. I will continue to do what I have been doing since I started my channel. Be a games critic and be a man who can look into his daughter's eyes and know that she is almost as proud of him as he is of her. And if you have a problem with that, then I really do feel sorry for you.